Russia is now laying claim to as much property as they possibly can, as they just put this claim in with the UN, trying to say that 460,000 square miles of ocean floor in the Arctic should be considered as belonging to Russia. This is interesting. Trump just signed this executive order, and things got heated up as soon as that happened. Not only in terms of Russia, but the people and the tribes in Alaska that were not happy about what he did. When you look at the maps, look at this region, Bering Sea, Beaufort Sea, here above Alaska. This is the one region that, the United States and Russia could have some conflict. Right here. Chukchi Sea. When it comes down to every little square inch in the resources that are up here and how far their property line, so to speak, extends is key. And Canada comes up through here, and the United States doesn't have a whole lot in terms of room to work with its coast. In terms of Russia has a massive border. So massive that I think the country being so big, it helps them in ways, but then again, I think it hinders them in ways because there's no way they can cover every square inch of their border. There's just no way. And some of it is just so remote. And if you guys remember, everything that happened with Hitler trying to roll into the Soviet Union, soon as their equipment got up here near Moscow, the weather set in. And Hitler just kept telling them, keep going. Problem was, they couldn't, because the tires were hardening up, the fluids were freezing, tanks, the hulls were cracking, the horses were dying, and it made for a harsh terrain to fight a battle. They have that on their side. Now, in terms of the Arctic itself, Murmansk, one of their biggest bases up in this region, sits right here. In this peninsula, they call it the unsinkable aircraft carrier because there's so many airstrips and bases located up here. It's like their most northwestern land-based base connected to the mainland and not an island or anything else. This is an interesting place too. Barents Sea, Kara Sea, this is a region that Russia's been dumping nuclear stuff. I mean, subs they'll just dump there. All kinds of other tanks and drums they've just dumped there. They know it. They've been trying to make some moves to recover certain things. But there's some nuclear stuff just sitting out there on the ocean floor in that region, aside from all these other resources. Russia has a massive amount of territory, so it should be of no surprise, I think, that they're saying they're going to be building bases up here. They're not giving away exact locations, but in due time, I'm sure some of these things will come to light. I mean, all this coastline they have to defend, and all the way down through here, where they meet up with North Korea. And that's interesting, that area there. But Russia has a lot of turf to defend in a situation where here recently they've said that Russia's been using these private military contractors because of losses taken in Syria and Ukraine. And in terms of troops and numbers, well, there's no way they're going to have enough people ever to cover the border and guard all of Russia. But they have Mother Nature on their side, mountains, Siberia, and just desolate landscape in certain areas. But I wouldn't be surprised if they have missile defense systems posted up out there. I'm sure they're not just leaving their stuff completely vulnerable. If not, they're building new bases, and they're staking a claim in this region. And I think that if the UN makes a move and accepts that, well, they say that this whole 400 and some thousand square radius is theirs, then that would mean anyone wanting to counter that, would have to go through the UN and completely try to counter that claim. And like I said, with the United States not having much room to work with up there, I think that's why Trump has made this move to get up into this region and to possibly do more than just exploration, looking for oil and stuff, potentially put up bases wherever they can as well. If Russia's making these moves, it's moves other countries are going to have to make. And it looks like Russia's not going to stop at this point when it comes to the Arctic. And that's some of the latest here. I wanted to make sure people are aware of those details and the fact that they're trying to claim 460,000 square miles of ocean floor up in that region. Which, no doubt, they have a lot of coastline there. But I will leave a link, update with more as I come across it. It's been Dabu7. Peace.